Hello everyone, the iPhone XS has been out for a little bit of time now, and let's go and see how this iPhone holds up in the later part of 2023. Now, funny enough, I did actually do a couple of reviews of this thing already. There's been a couple changes this particular year already. So we have the latest iPhone that just came out, the iPhone 15. We have the iPhone, the new version of iOS, which just came out as well. So those are some pretty big changes that have already happened. There's probably some other minor changes here and there. But the first thing I'll definitely tell you is the XS is still a good phone. I think there's still a lot of capability and a lot of quality with this particular iPhone. If you have the money, then go for the latest ones. But I think this particular iPhone is still very good, and I would 100% recommend worth buying it for sure. Now, the other thing I want to kind of state in here is that the XS right now on iOS 17, I'll kind of just start off with this. It is a little bit of a mixed bag. This is technically the oldest supported iPhone on iOS 17 right now, or one of the oldest supported iPhones. And when you're getting one of these older devices, you are definitely going to be getting a little bit of a different experience. And once again, like I said, that's just kind of what happens. So keep that in mind. This is not like the end of the world if you buy this iPhone or anything, but you're still actually getting a decent device. I don't even want to frame it like it's a super outdated phone or anything. Still a very good phone. You're going to be getting a very good, quality from it, but there are definitely some issues within iOS 17. Meaning one of the bigger issues is that on iOS 17, you aren't really getting like all the features within this version of software that you may expect. So the iPhone 12, for example, is the cutoff point for a lot of features within this version of software. And I generally do feel like Apple could have done a little bit of a better job here. They didn't give us all the features within iOS 17 on the iPhone 11 and below. So kind of a sad thing, but regardless, it's still a very good performing phone for the most part. And like I said, there's not really a lot to complain about from that specific perspective. Now, beyond that, I will still say the display of this iPhone still performs very, very well. The back, the cameras on this thing are still pretty decent for the most part too. Definitely not amazing, but they get the job done, and there's not really a lot to complain about from that perspective. Another thing, internally, because it is a little bit, tiny bit of like an outdated phone, you may think that this phone's performance is terrible. Not quite the case. The performance of this phone is still very, very decent. The Apple A12 Bionic chip inside with 4 gigabytes of RAM is very, very decent for what you're getting. And I do think, once again, that in and of itself is another very, very important thing to keep in mind as well. So personally for me, those are some things that kind of stand out to me personally. Now, I would also probably say the performance side of things on iOS 17 hasn't really been even that bad. Like, I feel like this phone, surprisingly, is still doing a decent job for what you're getting. Now, once again, not a perfect phone by any means, but I'm actually very pleasantly surprised of how good of a job a phone like the iPhone XS is still doing. If you're going out there and if you're actually going to buy the next generation phone, the XS, like I said, is a little bit outdated, but I do think for the most part, it is a very decent performing phone. And I even compared it against the, iPhone 15, and I actually saw that that was also a pretty, pretty good, decent performing phone at the time, which was actually very, very surprising. So once again, you would never think that a phone like this is at that level, but it's actually quite surprising in my opinion too. Now, on top of that, when you're kind of, looking at the future of this phone, how much of a future is it? I don't really know how long this phone's going to last, which is kind of, the part where we're kind of stuck in this weird situation. I would probably state, though, for the most part, that this particular phone, as of this point, it is what it is. Like, there's not really much we can do about it, but I still think it's like a decent performing phone, which has always been something cool. I guess we're just going to have to kind of wait and see what happens. But as of this point, I will definitely tell you the iPhone XS, very much still worth it. Like, I still think it's pretty much a good device for the most part, but I don't think it's, worth buying for for any reason. I don't really think this would be an iPhone I'd recommend people to buy, but I do think for the most part, it's a good device, and I'd probably, if you still have it, keep it. If not, then maybe you should probably just move on and buy something like the iPhone 11 or iPhone 12. So that pretty much covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.